All right, so we'll start off with some things. Florida lost because why wouldn't they? As I stated earlier in another video that I thought they'd go 3-0, kind of like the Colorado effect from last year. That is not happening this year. Seemingly, Miami came to play, and Miami actually has a real team this time. So let's see if Miami can actually pull through for the rest of the year. Because I remember for the last, 10 years, they've said they were back. They've said they've had some things going. And each time they shit the bed. And now, seemingly, it looks like they know how to play football. They have a real quarterback this time. And yeah, overall, it was not a good game for Florida. They looked like they didn't know what they were doing. It actually just... There was funnily enough, on one of the plays, I think it was in the third quarter, DJ Lagway, the backup quarterback, 5-star quarterback that they recently just got, threw to, I think, a tight end or whoever. They caught the ball. He was supposed to run it into the end zone, but he, kind of gave up and stopped doing that. Holy shit, Ole Miss is killing them. And it was just not good. It just was not... you can tell at that point that the entire team forgot all how to do effort, and they just, exploded and quit. Miami had 529 yards of offense, and Florida had 261. Florida had 2 turnovers to Miami's 1, and 17 first downs to Miami's 25. Miami had 34 minutes and 30 seconds of, I almost said screen time, of holding on to the ball versus Florida's 25 minutes and 30 seconds. This is a 3-hour game, people. They only had it, oh my God, go away. Why? ESPN needs to fix their shit when it comes to this, because this is ridiculous. Sorry, there seems to be oh my goodness gracious. You can be on the ESPN website and then it will take you to this. You won something, but that's just not true. Anyway, yeah, Florida lost horribly. First game of the year. I don't think they've lost a home opener since the 80s. I don't think that matters too much, but apparently it matters to a lot of different people. So that's unfortunate. And I cannot wait to see what happens for the rest of the year. They have Stanford up next week, and then they have Texas A&M at home again the week after that. And the way Texas A&M is playing, they're currently beating Notre Dame by 3 points, so it's not that big of a deal. It's also the second quarter, and it's only 6-3, so who knows. Anywho, surprising games for the day. Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech 34-27 and overtime. They had a shot to win in regulation, but the kicker missed it, even though he's made 2 field goals all year, or not all year. Well, yeah, I guess all year. And then seemingly shit the bed on the last one. But they won, and that's all that matters. So good on them. And I'm excited to see what Vanderbilt does for the rest of the year. Clark Leah, I don't know what his name is. Seems to know what he's doing. And hopefully Vanderbilt actually puts together a year that everyone can be like, oh my God. I'd also like to point out that Vanderbilt actually has some branding on their helmets and decals and stuff. Their uniforms look to be cool. Their numbers are cool. The V on their helmet isn't this ugly white V with a black star around it. It's a cool looking gold V with sharp edges and stuff. So they look edgy and cool. So that'll be really neat. One other thing I didn't realize is that Virginia Tech fans travel pretty well, because Virginia Tech took up a big chunk of that stadium from what I saw. But good on Vanderbilt. Happy for them. Other scores that happened. Georgia completely ran over Clemson. Clemson no longer is a good football program in my eyes. I think that's pretty evident. Some people say it's because Dabo Swinney refuses to use the transfer portal. I would probably agree with that. I think it's really sad. I think that he could have such a good team. I understand this idea of following your morals or whatever, but I also understand the idea of change is good and necessary, because their opponents are using the transfer portal to the best of their ability. Florida State last year, all their good players were transfer portal players, and they almost went to the playoff until he broke his leg, and then they quit. But still, this is not a good look for Dabo Swinney. He's not going to get fired by any means. he can probably go 0-12 this year, and he'd probably still have a job by the end of next year, or by the start of next year. So yeah. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, Wisconsin played last night and they looked terrible. I didn't watch the game at all. I watched it through the ESPN Gamecast, because if you know anything about that, if you watch a football game in real life on TV and then you watch the Gamecast is like 30 seconds ahead of the broadcast because that's how it works. I will say that for a team that is supposed to be improved from the first year to the second year, Luke Fickell's team looks unimproved. I don't know how you come out of the first game of the year and you've only scored 28 points. Tyler Van Dyke, who actually played at Miami last year, was their quarterback, was terrible. I think what they should have done is they should have started Braden Locke for the first game. At least for the first half of the game, because I feel like he's had more experience with just the whole vibe of the team than just throwing in TVD, but whatever. I went to college at Florida, and I remember talking to some of the players, and maybe some of them, maybe like one of them, and one of them told me that essentially college football is all politics. So, and I think that played a big role in it there, because they recruited through the transfer portal, Tyler Van Dyke and some other kid who played at Oklahoma who still has yet to play a snap. And, yeah, it's, oh my God, Hawaii's being, oh my goodness gracious. Seemingly, it seems as though it seems as though that's happening there at Wisconsin with playing TVD and not Braden Locke, who I just think would be so much better. But you know what? I'm not the coach, and whatever. They also seem to regress heavily from last season. Because I remember even from the last game, they played LSU really close until their defense absolutely just quit. It was more like they had no defensive line. In this game, they still have no defensive line, which I understand it's not easy to recruit to Wisconsin because it's like, I'm a D lineman. I can either go to Texas and be a backup or be at UW and be a starter. And I would assume you'd want to be a starter, but apparently not. Anywho, another thing that happened in the games today or yesterday. Oh my goodness. Texas beat Colorado State 52-0. West Virginia and Penn State. This game was supposed to be good. There was a giant weather delay for like an hour and a half or something. I don't know. And Penn State came out and killed them, 34-12. West Virginia was supposed to be good this year. Doesn't look like they're going to be good this year. I know you can't really tell from one game, but you put up 0 points in the first quarter. I feel like you should at least put up at least 3, and I think that should tell you a little bit, a decent amount of what's going on, but I guess not. Oh my goodness, Iowa put up 40 points against Illinois State, so that's neat and interesting. And other than that, God. Nebraska beat UTEP 40-7. Yay. Oh yeah, Colorado. That's a team. Colorado had the worst time. What was it? Thursday night playing. Was it Friday? It might have been Friday. Playing NDSU, and it was pretty evident that they didn't recruit anybody or fix anything that happened from last year. Offensive line for Shedeur Sanders still sucks. Defensive kind of reminds me of USC's defense, was it last year, where they had no defense essentially and relied on Caleb Williams to do pretty much everything. Granted, I'd still have the USC defense compared to Colorado's defense because at least USC's defense has actual players on it who can play, I guess. But, you know, oh, fuck. Man, how did they... That sucks. 2 other things. Georgia Tech won. They beat Florida State by 3. Stanford was supposed to be good this year, and they might be good this year. They're better than last year. They lost to TCU by 6 or 7. Man, I shouldn't have bet that game. So I bet the South Carolina Old Dominion game. For some reason, the line was South Carolina minus 20, I think. And I was like, there's no way South Carolina's going to have a hard time against Old Dominion. Like, there's no fucking way, right? But seemingly South Carolina beat Old Dominion 23-19, so that bet did not hit. If that's any indication, they're still probably better than Florida. But I don't know how you come out of the gate only scoring 10 points the first quarter, 3-3 for 3-3 for 2-3, and then only 7 in the last quarter, and then allowing Old Dominion to actually score points at all. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Northwestern's not amazing. Indiana is like okay or something. God, what else? Anything else exciting happened this week? Not really. Damn. I think I would have won like 500 some odd bucks if that parlay hit. I think everything else was going to hit. Maybe not though. Maybe Notre Dame is not going to. Oh, maybe. Who knows? Anywho, I guess an update is Michigan is now winning Fresno State 10-3 at home, and there's 31 seconds to halftime. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I'm going to assume that Michigan still has not decided on the actual QB. And if they have, I think that QB would have their stats out here, but they don't. So, unfortunate. Yeah. All right, that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to eat rice.